boy, that heat wave's cooking, son. It's still hot. And so I figured I'd take the day off. I'm not even gonna go outside today. I'm gonna stay inside and show you what we've got going on. We've always got something growing or drying, all kinds of stuff in here. But just to show you, the actual temperature is not 113, but that's what it feels like on the porch. It's more like 98 degrees outside right now, so we're good. But let me show you what's going on. So I had a company reach out to me and hook me up with this LET pot here, and I'm not gonna lie. I've been eyeballing these little hydroponic systems for a long time and really wondered how could I use that in my growing in my house and stuff like that, and supplementing. And I'm on my second growing here and I love it. It's just what I needed. I could go for a little bit bigger, but you know, maybe next time. But let me show you what we've got growing and I'll explain to you something that's so stupid. I can't believe it happened to me. So I'm not super big into hydroponics, you know. So what we did is, this is super easy. This is just, here's one. So this is just a pod, you drop it in, drop your seed in, and this is lettuce, mustard, and I lost my seeds, but this one was gonna be for cilantro. And I mean, it's 98 degrees outside and I'm growing cool season crops in the house. That's just amazing. Now we had a full span, all of the pods filled with lettuce earlier, and I was using this Jericho romaine here. And I had full heads of lettuce. So my AC died one day and it got to be about 85 degrees in here. And wouldn't you believe it that I had fully bolted lettuce growing in my house? It's like, go figure. So we cut it down and we've restarted it recently, and we were eating lettuce constantly all the time. And on that I did do cut and come again because I didn't want to keep replanting it. But these mustards, and mustard tends to grow slow, but that was another one that I wanted to grow because I really like mustard plants, but it just took a while. And so a couple things that I want to show you of things that I've learned on this so far. The first grow we did, we had every single pod filled up, and this time what I did is I kind of gave them some space in between. So like this is empty and this is empty, and so these are the lettuce here. I did order some new baskets for them, and I think I ordered the wrong size so they don't fit perfectly, but like this is the original. I'll show you this. This is cool. And so you can see the roots just growing in the water. It's pretty sick. And it comes with this fertilizer, and this has been a trick for me too. And what you do is you just mix it, it's like pellets, and then you mix it with water in here and you shake it up and then you just use it. But this has been a little bit difficult for me, not in general, but just for me because I don't fertilize like this. It needs to be fertilized like every 2 weeks. So I'm not used to fertilizing that much. So it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me. But I mean, you put the fertilizer in there and the next day it grows. It's pretty crazy. So it's Wi-Fi. You run it off your phone, you can plug and play and use all the different menus and stuff like that through it. So it works good, and this actually telescopes up. So if I can do it one-handed without breaking it. So you see I give it more space, and I mean I had it raised, it goes up way high. So I like it, it's easy to fill, easy to use. No issues. I mean, literally, I opened the box, plugged it in, filled it up with water, and I had stuff planted in like 10 minutes. It's pretty good. So I definitely would recommend this. I'll put a link below if you guys are interested for the LET pot aquaponic system. And they have other aquaponic stuff, but this is the kind of system that I've been eyeballing for a while. My mom has used a similar product for years and I really like it. And my granny, she's actually had the same tomato growing in hers for 3 years now. What I do want to try and do for this is I want to grow tomatoes in the winter time, but I'm going to try and find, and this is key, a micro dwarf tomato. So if I can get a micro dwarf tomato to go in, it'll just put off little tiny tomatoes, super small plants, just like, you know, that big. And you can get like micro dwarf seeds of different things. So stuff that we grow a lot of, like lettuces, anything like that. I mean, it's a little bit of a hobby thing, but we definitely got a lot of food out of it. So this is really good for especially something like this. In the wintertime, we'll grow tomatoes. In the summertime, we'll continue eating lettuce. We definitely didn't buy lettuce for a month while we were growing it. That's a win. Just kind of want to show you what I've been canning this year too. Got to have a little bit of dark chocolate, you know. So these are our 6 cans of carrots, and this should be about all we need. We may do a couple more cans in the winter time. And then these are all the tomatoes that we've canned this year. There's 2 cans left from last year, but all of these are from this year otherwise. So we did that, and we've got our jellies from this year. So this is all our strawberry jelly. Pepper jelly, we've done a little bit of pepper jelly. We still have some left over. And here's some hot sauce I made last year that is crazy hot. So haven't made any hot sauce yet, and I don't know if I'm going to, because I mean, we've got 3 jars full still. So I don't know if it's really needed. And then we just did these sweet pickles. So it's got onions and garlic in it as well. We weren't going to do any pickles, but we decided to give it one more shot. And then just some more overflow of tomatoes. And there's our black-eyed peas left over from last year, so we're going in the right direction. We'll probably get about double to triple this amount this year from our vines. We've been busy canning, and the next thing I'm going to can, the very next thing, all of these are our husk tomatoes. So the goal with the husk tomatoes has been to actually grow enough to make a jelly out of it. And we made a test jelly one year. My wife, for some reason, said she didn't like it. But we can't eat, we're growing so many husk tomatoes right now, or ground cherries as some people like to call them, that we just can't eat them fast enough. So we're gonna have to make a jelly out of them. So we'll be doing that. And I had a full jar of dried tomatoes, but they're gone. But this is the dehydrator I've been using right here. Got this last year, and it's pretty good. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But we had a full quart jar of it, and I gave some away and stuff like that. So we definitely have a lot of tomatoes going on. All right, so I moved my seed shelf this year. And these are all the seeds that you were seeing me growing earlier in the year. I'll give you a little update on what's going on with them. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. Let's just say it like that. So these are most of our cabbages. No, these are all of our cabbages. So these are the hybrids. So right here is our capture cabbage, and then we have our golden acre cabbage. And you can see we did have a little bit of die off on them, but we've got plenty of cabbages to go, so we are good. I do believe that I've got some aphids that I brought in from outside, and I'll just put a little bit of soapy water in a spray bottle and knock them back, and probably just spray them once a week or something to get them going. And these are 2 trays of broccoli. So this one here is our heirloom broccoli. And again, it just got so hot outside before we could bring them in, the plants just couldn't recover, but we've got plenty of broccoli going here. I probably estimate we've got about 40 different plants in here, so we've got plenty. And then this is our heirloom broccoli. So we've got imperial broccoli from here over. And then I can't read my own handwriting. Green magic broccoli here. And we do have pretty good germination going on here. The front's not looking good, but if you look at the back, we've got more than enough broccoli for this year. So that's good. And then I just brought my rutabagas in, and this tray is actually odd shaped and it doesn't really fit in, so I'm gonna have to move it. But everything's doing pretty good. The heat did get to some of it. We had a hard rain that knocked some of the seeds out of the cell, but even still, we've got plenty of seeds going here. I need to get, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them from here and just set them down here onto this rack. And this is where I dry stuff. So I've got some herbs here, an old piece of garlic I need to move. So we'll put it down there where it's got more space and just finish growing them out. But they are starting to stretch, so I do need to handle that pretty quick. That's something that has been kind of difficult this year, and it is every summer, is getting those fall seeds going, because we're just trying to handle stuff outside and then come back in here and then do everything on the inside. So, you know, it's kind of hard to get them going, but once they get up and get going, it's not bad. And as soon as this heat starts to break and we start planting more stuff out, we've probably got for the cabbage, I'd say about another two weeks or so before we start really hardening them off and getting them out there. We're just gonna watch the weather. and make sure it's going to cool down. I think for the next, I was just looking at the 10-day forecast. It'll be in the mid 90s for the next 3 to 4 days. And then we get like one day where it's like 87, and then it's going to go back up. So we're not even close, but we're getting there. The sun's getting a little bit lower. It's getting darker earlier, so things can get more of a reprieve. So it's just kind of keeping them watered. And that's really been the trick. And actually, this used to be where my seed shelf was, and I moved it back into my office. But this has been a little bit better of a situation for me out here because it was like always top of mind. But in there, it's out of the way and it's a little bit better. So we like it. And we actually took in, got some little indoor plants and put there, just, you know, liven up the space some. But yeah, that let pot thing, the hydroponic system, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do. I'm looking forward to getting some micro dwarf tomatoes, possibly doing some kind of pepper of some sort just to kind of mess around depending on how much space we have. And, you know, the smaller heads of lettuce, stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to do that. It's not really good for, you know, if you want to grow radishes or anything, because when you can put one radish in a cell, so, you know, I think that one's a 10 cell system, so you're going to get 10 radishes every 20 days. It doesn't really work out well, but yeah, I like it. And it's not been very much maintenance to it, so it's been very, very useful. And I'm sitting out here looking at my garden. I told y'all I'm not going outside, and I can just see things cooking. So these tomatoes right here are my better boys, and they are starting to get a little crispy. So I'm gonna go out there tonight and water them. We did get a little bit of a rainstorm, but it's time for things to kind of either make it or break it. This is the time of year. And if that's that time of year for the plants, either make it or break it, then it's definitely that time of year for the gardener. So is the heat gonna make or break you? Let us know in the comments what you're doing to combat it or how you're handling it. You know, I'm picking these hottest days and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna go out there because I know myself, and I know once I get started and I go out there, I won't stop and then I'll get too hot. So I'm just gonna take it easy and chill, go out there late in the afternoons and do what I gotta do. And then other than that, I'm going surfing.